And when it's Saturday, it's Quinn Day. Quinn, how are you? My guest, of course, Quinn Michaels. Good to have you with me, Quinn. And today we're going to be discussing rocket science, Aleister Crowley's Strange Angel, and the Las Vegas Metro PD, the connections between, the unlikely connections between these very different groups. Now, Quinn, people may notice that we are now back on the 21st Century 3D YouTube channel. Unfortunately, this is because more malicious anonymous strikes are coming our way. The Crowdsource the Truth 2 channel has been taken out by jokers. Our favorite trolls are just constantly knocking down what we're trying to build up, and that's a bit of a pain in the butt. Before we get underway, I do want to remind people that they can avoid all of this nonsense by becoming sponsors on patreon.com/crowdsourcethetruth, where the video streams are delivered by Vimeo now, and people can be watching over there. You can also help support the channel and keep it going. It's more important than ever while we're under attack that you show these guys that you do not care what they say or do. If you appreciate what we're doing on Crowdsource the Truth, please become a sponsor. And also, it's important that people follow Quinn Michaels on Twitter. You can find him there. He is at Quinn Michaels, and he's constantly tweeting about artificial intelligence. Oops, sorry. Oh, didn't mean to go back there. Sorry, Quinn. He's tweeting about artificial intelligence. He's tweeting about Tyler. He is tweeting about time phone hacking. And there's a lot of great information on Quinn Michaels' YouTube feed, and you can find all of his sponsorship information there. Oop. And of course, you should be following Quinn on YouTube. We got to get those subs up. I tell you, Quinn, I don't mind sometimes when the subscribers diminish a little bit, because I feel like it's a little bit of a, it's a shakeout, you know. There's a lot of subscribers that get on the channel sometimes just to, you know, make problems and stuff like that. But you've prepared.
Yeah,
Sorry?
mine have been tanking for the last month. Every day I'm in the negatives.
Why is that, you think?
I don't know, man, but for every day for like the last month, like, you know, it's been one of the weird things that I was gonna like mention to you before we like went on air, but like every day for the last month, literally, I've been in the negatives on subscribers, and like on the second, I had negative 150.
Wow.
On the third, I had negative 34. On the first, I had negative 28. The 30th, negative 18. So every day, pretty much, except for like one day, which was on like 419. And like, you know, 414. So there's like, you know, pretty much every day on my YouTube channel is like what I call tank day now. I'm like, is today going to be a tank day?
Well, you know, Quinn, I wouldn't let it get you down, because honestly, I have a feeling that there are some people out there that control a large number of YouTube, you know, channels and accounts.
No, I'm, you know, this is one of the things I'm keeping track of, because this is not a natural occurrence.
Right.
This is happening, and it is controlled in some aspect because I'm looking at people in similar fields, like you with the Crowdsource 2 channel or other people, and I seem to be the only one that is experiencing this in a similar field. So I'm not complaining. I'm saying I'm experiencing a very unnatural effect right now that is showing the power of the people behind what they're doing to us. They're, you know, I'm seeing it in my charts right now because they've been tanking me all month.
I agree. I think it's even possible, Quinn, that they may specifically and deliberately subscribe a lot of accounts to your channel, so at a moment when you're gaining natural momentum, they can start to remove subs to maybe make you feel bad, make other people think the channel's going down. They like to constantly say, oh, Crowdsource the Truth is crashing and burning, but they always say that while I'm gaining like 1,000 subscribers a week.
They do. See, but I don't get 1,000 subscribers a week. I'm losing it. So even if at the natural rate, So what's happening is I'm being filtered because I measured the statistics from the video we did last week versus my subscriber rise versus my video count this week.
Right.
So, and based on what your channel got on our video last week of 10,000 views, my channel should not have been tanking all week.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like it would generate more interest in Quinn Michaels when people come and watch that awesome video we did last week about...
But that was 10,000 views, and all week since that video, I've been measuring against the analytics from that video, and that video has been getting over 1,000 views a day.
Wow.
Meanwhile, I've been losing on average of about, I would say, 30 subscribers per day on my channel.
Well, I agree with your assessment there, Quinn. It doesn't make sense that 1,000 people a day would be watching this video. I think we could presume that at least some of them would be unfamiliar with you before seeing the video, and then you would think after seeing it, if that many people are liking it and watching it and sharing it, that it makes sense that they would go to your Quinn Michaels channel on YouTube and want to see more about what you're doing. So I agree with you. This is some kind of manipulation. And
then on top of that, and this is really one of the things I wanted us to like observe, because you're going to find it to be really strange now. Then on top of that, you calculate how many videos you and I did on your other Crowdsource the Truth channel.
The original Crowdsource the Truth, yeah.
Yeah. Like your most viewed video on that channel had me and you in that interview.
Right.
2,000?
200 and something, right?
Yeah, so let's look at it. Most popular. So your most popular video is the one that you and I did together, and it has 206,000 views.
It's a lot.
Okay? So why is it that on one of your channels it's the most popular video at 200,000 views, but on my channel I'm losing subscribers?
I think it's because there are people who don't want the message that you and I are sharing to get out. And they're just doing whatever they can to try to crush it. I think at the time that we did this live in Las Vegas with Quinn Michaels video 5 months ago, I don't think that anybody expected, including me. You know, there was nothing about that made me think we were going to get 206,000 views on that. And in fact, if you recall, we originally started that video with Kerry Cassidy of Project Camelot, and Kerry was very unprepared for that video. She arrived late despite being in touch 15 minutes early. Her sound wasn't ready, and it was kind of a disaster. So in the last minute, we restarted this video with just you and I, and it was very popular. Obviously, people were extremely interested in what we were talking about and all the information that you shared about AI and Sophia becoming the first artificial intelligence citizen of Saudi Arabia, all of the stuff about cryptocurrency and how you linked it to artificial intelligence, how the need for more and more powerful computer systems for crypto was an AI kind of a thing. But yeah, I guess we just have to keep observing it. What do you think?
So, and that's what I'm saying. See, because right after that video, mysteriously the QAnon phenomenon popped out into the world. And so I've been watching the statistics and the related information between that initiative and what we're doing, and it looks like there's an excessive effort to stifle whatever it is you and I are digging into.
Yeah.
With massive reinforced, what's called pressure.
I agree with that.
And this is how it relates to the Jack Parsons show and stuff that we're going to talk today. And this is why that group of people would be applying that kind of pressure, because of what we're going to touch on today.
Do you want to look at some Social Blade statistics, or do you want to just get right into the...
Yeah, we could do that, because all of the statistics and the analytics and stuff is very important to see before you and I get into what we're going to talk about today, because really in the whole Internet of things, you know, I've been talking to you about things like Jack Parsons' involvement in this since the Las Vegas interview, I believe.
Yeah.
I believe I mentioned Jack Parsons to you a long time ago, and now that this is all coinciding, you know, understanding how they've been stifling us is very important.
It's true. Now, Quinn, you mentioned QAnon, and Dr. Corsi, who I've become friends with over the course of the past year and have tremendous respect for. Dr. Corsi has been very hot on QAnon for quite a while, and
Mm-hmm.
I haven't quite been following what's going on, but something happened where something switched with QAnon yesterday or today. I think Dr. Corsi was not happy with QAnon. I'm not exactly sure what's going on there, but the first time I ever heard about QAnon was from Tracy Beans. Tracy is somebody who a lot of people know, and she was very big on QAnon early on. I've had my questions about Tracy Beans in part because of some of the information she's reported about me, and I noticed
Now,
yeah.
look, I want you to look at the chart. Look at that pivot point, the second one in October, around October, after
Before
October.
we get to October, I want to look at this Tracy Beans. Now, is there something wrong with Social Blade? Like, why do we have people go from 0 to 6,000?
That's when they come online. That's when they start first coming online, when they start appearing in the index,
But
and when the bots start picking them up.
but
So,
Social
so that
Blade has been around since 2009, and
no,
I
not
think
so. So like a lot of these accounts, like when they make a video that gets attention, they'll get like a pop in subscribers in one day. So like I've seen it where some people get like 300 to 500 to 1,000, and it'll pop them in a day.
But look in
But
the
the
lower
important,
right, Quinn. Can you see this? The first chart we're looking at is Tracy Beans, right? And when
yeah,
we come
yeah.
over here to April, this is, I mean, I know she's been online longer than 2017, at least I think she has. But this is March 2017, March 16th, 2017 to March 18th, it jumps 6,000. Now,
Yeah.
when we zoom out and look at my channel, I started at like 96, 94. For a long time, I had less than 100, and it just built. And then I started working with George, and we could see it went like 400, 700, 800 to 2,000. It did spike quite intensely, and you have speculated that it's possible that someone may have sent bots over there. I do
Well,
not know how to get bots to subscribe to YouTube channels.
I want to illustrate a timeline to the date after October. What date was that? That first boom?
For me,
No, in November. For
in the,
everyone. Everyone boomed on the same time in November.
okay, so here we are in October, and then
That's
there's a
right there.
strong spike in, this is
Okay.
Tracy going from 13,000.
1st of November. That's when I was making my research and QAnon appeared.
I see. Yeah, QAnon definitely boosted Tracy like crazy. I was over here around 20,000. She was 13,000. You were about 2,500. And then, yeah, November, they all started going up.
Yep.
So what do you think this indicates?
It's a controlled environment. All of these people are agents.
Mm-hmm. And so this
Most of
huge spike
yeah,
here in the beginning is what?
yeah. It's what's called the seed. The first spike is the seed, where you give it a first bump because YouTube gives you higher accreditation in the index if you have more subscribers, more likes, and
Yeah,
more shares.
right.
So the more you share a video, the more you like a video, the more you subscribe, the faster you grow because
But
YouTube thinks more people like you.
see, but
So
here's a problem. Hang on one second, because I'm
real
looking
quick,
at Tracy
finish, Jason.
Beans' channel.
Jason, can I finish? Let me
Sure.
finish,
Yeah,
please.
sure.
Can you go back to the chart? Can I stay focused on the chart, please?
Sorry. There you go.
So according to this chart, YouTube doesn't like me. According to this chart, nobody's sharing my videos. According to this chart, pretty much if I was a TV show, I would be canceled.
Good point.
So what we're missing in this, and the whole point is the person bringing the information that's getting the 200,000 views, the person that keeps saying logic, focus on logic, and then you have this QAnon guy that says stay logical. Tracy Beans is part of an operation that's stealing my research. Jordan Stather, Tracy Beans, Defango, Dave Acton, George Webb, they're all part of an organized operation stealing my research, and I can time my research release to their pop and to attacks on me in the background. It's a very large and orchestrated effort. Now, the fact that this TV show is coming out now about Jack Parsons.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And what I'm going to show you proves it.
Sure.
Because there's no reason for, bring up Destroying the Illusion. You'll see Destroying the Illusion has the exact same pop points.
But real quick, before we get too deep into this, I want to say there's got to be something wrong with how these charts are made, because that...
No, those are accurate.
But look, Tracy joined in 2006, April 1st. So she wasn't 0 subs until 2017. Why doesn't the chart show her going all the way back to 2006?
Because she wasn't active. The account wasn't active. She was just a subscriber. She wasn't making videos.
I wonder.
So a lot of these accounts, they register them a long time ago, so it gives them credibility when they go active.
Well, you know, I did that too, though, Quinn. I had my account since 2011, but I didn't put any videos on there. I was just watching videos with it.
I mean, I've had my YouTube account. I mean, when you go to my YouTube account, you go to About Quinn Michaels. You know, I joined and says I joined. When does it say I joined?
But I think it's not always sinister when someone, you know, joins and then doesn't put any videos up.
I'm not
it's
saying
sometimes
sinister. So my YouTube's been active since June 4th of 2007.
Right.
So I've been on YouTube for over a decade. Right.
Yeah.
My chart says the same thing. If you go back to those charts, you go back to those charts, my chart says the same thing.
Right.
Right. I you know, for 10 years, I had art videos all over my YouTube channel. I never had a subscriber. I made art videos about painting Mona Lisas and cartoons and all kinds of stuff that some of it has 500,000 views, but no one ever subscribed.
It's really interesting, Quinn, but you're right. As we look at more and more of these charts, there does seem to be a similar... I mean, does this just coincide with more people coming on to watching YouTube?
No, now put Jordan Stather and Tracy Beans together. Like, take your name out, keep mine in, and then you're going to see a big pattern and put Tracy Beans in, and you'll see the pattern. You'll see that it's a micro pattern that lines up that will show you the illustration. See?
Yeah, I mean, they look real similar.
Right? Now, I can time those days when I specifically released very important information to those pops. Right? I came out last year in April revealing Tyler. So all these people started popping last April when I revealed Tyler. That's what I'm trying to illustrate is last April, in the beginning of April and May, when I was releasing Tyler to people through my YouTube channel, none of these people had followings. But all of a sudden in the last year, since I'm trying to talk about Tyler, these people have become superstars with like 100,000 followers.
People are asking who made the chart. This is an interactive chart on Social Blade, which is a website for tracking YouTube performance and various information there.
So that's the part of the chart I'm getting at is when I came out, because I only came out when I found Tyler and I wanted to let people know. All of a sudden, all of these other YouTube channels started using the same research that I was using in different forms with Tyler, and they started getting like 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers. And meanwhile, I'm still getting dumped at like negative 100 a day.
Yeah. It's interesting. There's a lot of things about YouTube that don't make sense. I mean, for instance, I have been marking videos that are, you know, blatantly accusing me of crimes without evidence, and
but that's the covenant. So next when we
but
start
they do nothing. YouTube does nothing, and then with mine, I get a strike on something, it knocks out the channel right away. I put an appeal. There's no response for like 2 months.
Yeah. Well, that's because of what we're going to go into next with the Strange Angel. And this is the group of people that are running these operations that all these people work for.
Yeah. And of course, the strange angel is Jack Parsons, right?
Yes, and Strange Angel is a new television series that's coming out on June 14th based on the life of Jack Parsons and his involvement in occult practices.
Mm-hmm.
But at like 26 seconds of the trailer, there's something very important that is going to lead us into the next part of the conversation.
Should we run that trailer?
Yes, please.
Is that right here? Are we looking at it right there?
Yeah, and we want to pause, I believe, right around like 25 seconds or so.
You want sound on that, Quinn?
You can have sound if you want, but it's more important what we're going to see on screen.
All right, so let's you and I talk while it plays.
I've always wondered what it'd be like being up
so
there.
Make sure to pause at about 25, 26 seconds.
You truly
so it's based on a true story about Jack Parsons, a rocket
take us all
engineer
to the moon?
and known occultist who was a
You
member
are
of
trying to work in a field
secret
that
society.
does not even exist.
Who says we have to obey? There's a place that can help you be the man you've always dreamed of being. You just need to have an open mind.
That's 25 seconds.
Okay, and it's one more second ahead. It's after the knife in the door.
Oh,
so
there it was. The 93?
Yeah.
Up there, like being up there.
It's going to be right at 26
You
seconds.
truly do
It was real
believe
fast.
you,
I mean,
Jack
some
Yeah.
was, you know,
Take us all to the
boom.
moon.
It's from Ridley
You are
Scott.
trying to work
Yep,
in
it's a
field
Ridley Scott
that does not even
TV
exist.
series.
Who says we have to obey? There's a place that can help you be
At
the
26
man you've always
seconds.
dreamed of being. You just need to have an open mind.
That
Now.
is what you're talking about, right?
Yes, that's the 9-3 Society that I've spent the last year trying to inform people of that has kept me very low on the totem pole because they've been using the QAnon phenomenon to keep people from finding out about Tyler.
Well, we certainly see a lot of 93s, obviously, and we've been talking about the 93 Society. We did that whole episode where we spoke about the
But-
first attack on the World Trade
But the
Center in 1993.
Yeah, but the symbol around it is called a sigil, and that is a demonic tool that satanic practitioners use to invoke demons.
Mm-hmm.
So CBS is actually using real satanic imagery in this TV show. That's real. That's
pretty-
100% authentic. That
Right.
image right there that they're going to be using on the television show, it's not a prop. So the 9-3 Society is using a television show as a ritual sigil because those symbols are real. I've spent the last year of my life researching things like that, and that is legit.
Well, and of course, you've told us before about Aleister Crowley's AA Society, which is using the
Yeah.
same exact symbol right there.
Exactly.
And it was...
So you see, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's quite strange as well to see that the Las Vegas Metro PD use a similar symbol as their badge.
It's the same symbol.
What do you think the significance is there, Quinn?
The 7-star symbol is an occult symbol used by the Aleister Crowley group to invoke demonic entities. And so anywhere that you put that symbol and you have an event where you stage a shooting or people die in sacrifice, and that symbol shows up, it's a satanic sacrifice.
Wow. That is quite crazy. You know, there's something else I wanted to show you, Quinn, because this wasn't immediately obvious from the metal badge or some of the embroidered versions of the badge, but in preparing for today's episode, I found this sort of kind of like a line drawing of the Las Vegas Metro PD logo, and I find it really strange that it's got these two towers with a plane flying through, and also in this previous image of it, we saw this is the same badge they've had since 1973, at least.
Yeah.
And you know what? There's a 9 and there is a 3. So that's kind of interesting.
Well, but the 1973 era, that's what we've been talking about with the era from 1966 to about 1977. with the wireless communications. You were talking to me about how the new chief of police in LVPD was putting in a new secure communication system.
That's true.
Jack Parsons was involved in communication systems because he was working at JPL. He helped start JPL. But the point is that this design, this black and white design, it hit me today when I was driving around. I saw it on the back of a car, and I was like, that's a sigil. That's not a badge. That's a sigil. A badge looks different. Because on the cars here in town, that's what they look like. They're sigils. And then I connected it to the AA organization, and then I saw it in the preview, and it's real.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very crazy.
It's funny how stuff like this starts showing up. I mean, if you're not aware of it, you kind of don't really notice it. But once you point it out, it's sort of everywhere.
Yeah. Now, if you go back to that preview that we were looking at 25 seconds or 26 seconds of the Strange Angel.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if that was any other number besides the number 93, because you and I both know the significance of the number 93 in Aleister Crowley, you can go to the Wikipedia entry and look at it now. If those people weren't really a part of it and didn't know about it or weren't really planning it, they would use another number like 7 or 9 or 13. They would use some other number that would be like socially recognizable. Like people would be like, oh, it's the 13 Society, right?
Well, maybe they're just being authentic to the research, no?
Not unless they're signaling other members. They wouldn't want to do that in a movie because they would have done research and said, oh, we can't put the 93 in because then that's going to signal real people.
Huh.
That's why they put like phone numbers in movies at 555-1234.
Right. Interesting.
Call me at 555-9939, you know? Movies purposely have to fake things so they don't influence real people. Like, you have to put that warning out that says, you know, any connection to anything real is just coincidental.
Right.
Because we, you know, like, they put those warnings out on Law and Order, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they actually stuck a 93 symbol in that makes it real. It makes it completely 100% real. They shouldn't have done that. They should have put in like an 89 or 72. But the fact that they put in a number 93 means that they're going to be activating a whole bunch of Aleister Crowley initiates.
Wow.
Because it's a real greeting. It says, hello, followers. Here's what you're watching. Because legally, if they didn't want to enact some mysterious cult that may be out there, they needed to change those numbers. But since they didn't change that number, that means they're doing it.
Well, could it not be a matter of that number being part of the design and them wanting to be authentic to the design? Here we go.
It's liability. Is what I'm saying. Because of the historic orders and the religious connotation, it's not logical because you're going to be basically making a phone call to every single follower of the 9-3 Society. It's like, if they made that TV show and didn't do the research into this, they're the stupidest people ever.
No, I think they do a lot of research into stuff like that. So I hear what you're saying. Is this the right Wikipedia entry for the 93 stuff that you want to see?
You can. It's better if you go to just click on Aleister Crowley's actual name right there. You can just click on his name and it'll take you. And then you can search for 93 here. There's some references here. Or you can go to the number 93 Wikipedia entry because they actually have one for it.
Really?
Yeah. You can go to 93 Thelema. You search 93 Thelema. It's right there.
Yeah. And of course, there we go. The number
It's
93
real.
is of great significance in Thelema, founded by English author and occultist Aleister Crowley in 1904.
Right. It's real.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's crazy.
And there's a big TV show coming out on the 14th of June.
That's very soon.
With people using very real satanic imagery in the TV show.
So what do you think we should do about that?
Man, I don't know how to inform people fast enough. I'm losing subscribers. I mean, and
Yeah.
I just saw a TV show using 100% authentic Aleister Crowley style satanic imagery in a trailer.
Yeah, you're right. It's creepy.
Yeah, which means that the whole TV show is most likely a ritual. Because that's what Jack Parsons was doing with L. Ron Hubbard and Aleister Crowley, is he was doing a very specific ritual.
What was that ritual?
It was a ritual to invoke what's called the Scarlet Woman, who is a very powerful type of demonic entity, also known as Kali. She generally wears a waist of men's heads, a belt of men's heads.
Whoa, what's this right here?
Yeah, that's their, dress up. I think they were at like a Snow White costume party.
It's Jack Parsons and Marjorie Cameron.
Yeah.
There's a lot of weird images of this guy, Jack Parsons, and, there were some interesting things. I remember you said last week that he was friends with Stan Lee. I don't believe this is an authentic Marvel comic. I think this is something someone on the internet made in the style of Marvel comics.
Yeah, that's a meme. But they were all connected in Pasadena. They were all connected through the Agape Lodge and the Process Church, and through the Caltech, through the intellectual society, through the underground comic scene, through the beatnik scene. You can look back at whole comics of the 1960s, and they were talking about like gamma rays, and they were talking about all the stuff that like Jack Parsons was making.
Yeah, gamma rays were what turned Bruce Banner into the Hulk, if I remember correctly.
Go back to the 9.3. You're going to see it now. Go back to the 9.3. You're going to see it. Gamma.
Alpha, gamma. Oh, yeah. Look at that.
Yeah. So this is all very related to like gamma. This is all very related to, occultism and mysticism. But the TV show is a very real symbol that if people aren't familiar with the occult, they would just look at it and think it was a TV prop like everything else they've seen. But the fact that they're using that imagery specifically is real. You can see it right there on your screen, the 9.3 at the bottom. It's not fake.
No. I believe you. I found some interesting images also of Jack Parsons, just while we're still on the Marvel Comics thing. A lot of people were noting that the traditional image of Tony Stark looks a lot like Jack Parsons. Well, this is Howard Stark from the movie.
He's modeled after him. Jack Parsons is the model for Stark. He was a super genius.
Yeah.
Like beyond belief, and something. It's a difficult story about Jack Parsons. I wish I could relay the whole context of it. But what Jack Parsons was in contact with Werner von Braun before the war ever broke out. And as a teenager in high school, he was having private communications with Werner von Braun in Germany.
Wow.
And that wasn't really made public. And Werner von Braun being a known occultist, and then from his time in high school, he had known associations with people like L. Ron Hubbard in college and Aleister Crowley. So this is a very big deal. Like, you can actually go to his various research, and you can find that he was in communication with Werner von Braun talking about advanced rocket technology prior to the war.
Wow.
When he was a teenager.
I had no idea Werner von Braun was an occultist. It seems like all these guys mucking around with rockets are into the occult. Here's an article from Wired. Occultist father of rocketry, written out of NASA's history. Occult roots of NASA. Wow. Huh. Well, wait, this is talking about Jack Parsons, not...
No, you'll find Werner von Braun mentioned. Yeah, no, that was important. That was Jack Parsons was written out of history.
Right. Do you want to see that article?
Yeah, he was colleagues with everyone. Everyone knew him.
It's pretty strange for him to be in high school talking to a guy in Germany, long-distance phone calling wasn't as easy to do back then as it is now.
Exactly. Where did he get the communication lines?
I don't know. Time phone.
Time phone.
Maybe. Well, people could read this article on Wired UK.
Yeah.
It seems to focus on Jack Parsons. What does it say about Werner von Braun? Scientist echoed by a number of his colleagues. Parsons is the founding father of rocketry. Well, I mean, that's pretty crazy, Quinn. What else do we want to discuss about this?
But the other thing about it is Parsons helped start JPL.
Yes.
You see the JPL right there.
Mm-hmm.
Even today, and I was just looking at this today, just looking at it. If you go to look at Mars rover pictures,
Mm-hmm.
you have to go to JPL,
Right.
mars.jpl.nasa.gov. So even to this day, for us to look at pictures of Mars, we go to a place that was started by this man Parsons originally. And JPL is one of the exclusive science laboratories for NASA.
Yeah, this is jpl.nasa. So it's the Jet Propulsion Laboratory.
Yes. Now, if you know anything about jet propulsion laboratories, which most people don't,
Right.
they recently won some artificial intelligence awards.
Huh. Makes
In
sense.
2016, the JPL AI team won an award for their Swarm Tech for designing, developing, and demonstrating state-of-the-art multi-agent autonomy for ONR's Swarm Maritime Robotics program achieved on the 2nd of October 2016. They designed the Swarm Tech.
You've
So
been
they
talking
built-
about that for some time.
Yeah, so they built very advanced artificial intelligence systems, and they developed the AI that runs on the Explorer, which is an autonomous AI that runs on the JPL laboratory Explorer that went to Mars.
That little rover.
Yep, that's an AI.
Well, when did that thing go? 1997 or something like that?
A while ago.
There was one that went in 1997, and then there was a substantially larger one that went. This looks like the newer, larger one.
That is the newer one that I've been following that since about 2013.
Curiosity rover.
Yeah, that's the Curiosity rover. But that's the place that won an award for their autonomous swarm technology.
Mars Science Laboratory mission's Curiosity rover, the most technologically advanced rover ever built, landed on Mars's Gale crater the evening of August 5th, 2012. So I think that was about 15 years after the first one.
Yeah. So this person, Jack Parsons,
Yep.
is very important to our world even today, and most people don't know about him, and they're about to make a television show about the father of rocketry using real occult sigils and symbolism.
Well, it seems to be the first bit of mainstream kind of information about the guy that focuses on the occult. I mean, there have been books and things written, but a CBS TV show, that's kind of a big deal. A lot of people are going to know about that.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to have eyes on it. And revealing real imagery to people gets in their heads. And one of the things I've been working with in finding Tyler is a thing called a mind virus. And if they're putting real imagery into a TV show on CBS, they're getting ready to launch a really rampant mind virus with their symbols and their sigils. It's going to affect a lot of people.
Huh.
It's going to mess with a lot of people's heads. And
Yeah.
people aren't really educated in what's called sigilization, which is what people like our friend Mr. Chavez and Mr. Acton and all those people are very well versed in on the internet. They're the people that are using these same type of symbols that we're going to be seeing in this TV show coming out.
I haven't seen Dave use those symbols so much. Certainly, Manuel Chavez is more into graphics and symbols and puzzles and things like that. Where has Dave used them?
Well, they're part of the groups that use them. Is what I'm saying. They're in communication. This is the type of the group. They have sigil makers. They're part of the group called the SVV or whatever you want to call them that makes all the sigils. Or if you go to the Telecomics site, now I want you to go to the Telecomics site, telecomics.org that we showed people last week with the manifesto.
Right.
If we could go to that site, now that we saw the sigils from the TV show, if you go to that site, you'll see the logo and it'll make a lot more sense.
Right. I think one problem is the first time I went to Telecomics, I had the wrong address in there. So now every time it automatically brings that up.
TELECOMIX.
And no WW, right?
You can. I usually don't. I just usually put in the telecomics, TELECOMIX.org. It's a .org.
Oh, .org. That's the issue. Yeah. Ooh. Wow. Wait a minute. Is this the right thing? This looks different than the last time I saw it.
No, that's it.
That's it. Okay.
Yeah. So you see the use of the same type of black and white sigilization in there.
It's like an ohm and monkeys.
Yeah.
What is this about?
It's the monkeys, man.
Yeah. Oh, that I got.
So it's more of a design pattern with the black and white imagery with the circle and the shapes, and that's called a sigil.
This is a Hebrew letter.
Those are it's Hebrew, but they use them in the what's that tree? I forget. Anyway, I'm not into their magic stuff. They have a lot of stuff I'm not aware of. But you can see those are close to the same symbols. If you go back to the trailer now, if you go back to the trailer, you'll see almost the exact same symbols around the edge.
Huh.
So that's very real. And that's something that people who are not members of that occult society should be very concerned about, and they should be made aware of as fast as possible. Because unless they want their minds infected with satanic imagery, they should ask for that show not to be aired.
Huh. Well, they don't have to watch it. I mean, what happens when your mind gets infected with this satanic imagery?
Over time, it eventually converts you to being a Satanist.
How does it do that?
It's black magic, man. It does it through what's called influence and persuasion by getting you to see the imagery, getting you to think the show is cool, getting you to buy the shirt, getting you to buy into it, and then over time, through small influences, you shift.
Huh.
And it does it. It's like a band. You know, after a while, you see Justin Bieber shirts everywhere. You know who Justin Bieber is, right?
Right. Well, advertising, right. That's what I was going to say. It's like advertising.
It's advertising. So this is advertising. So what they're going to use it as is a recruitment tool to find other people who are going to be interested that are going to start going out and looking for the 93. So this is going to make people go out and look for the 93, and then people are going to find out that the symbols are real, and then they're going to go, man, I want to join that if they can make that. So it's a recruiting tool.
Interesting. And we've heard that those Cicada 3301 puzzles are somehow a recruiting tool as well.
Exactly. And they also use sigils as well. You can go to humanisbeing.com and you'll see the same thing. There's so many places and sites. You remember that guy that Johnny Depp? Here, this will be a good one. You remember that guy that Johnny Depp helped get out of jail? What was this guy?
I'm not sure I remember that guy. That Johnny Depp got out of jail.
Johnny Depp helped get out of jail. Damien Eccles. So you see the same design right there in the sigil. But if you go to Damien Eccles, he's the guy that Johnny Depp helped get out of jail. He also has a full body tattooed in sigils like this.
Huh. Why did Johnny Depp help him? Damien, what's his name?
I don't know. Damien Eccles.
interesting. I think Johnny Depp has a ton of tattoos, but you've got a ton of tattoos. You're not a Satanist.
No, I'm talking more about the symbols. So if you go to like twitter.com, and I'm just showing you different people who are using the same symbols for validation. I'm not making any fingers, you know. If you go to his Twitter account, you can research him and you can find out that he's part of the West Memphis 3 people that were supposedly part of a satanic group that were killing people.
Whoa. Why does Johnny Depp want to help this guy?
I don't know, man. But if you go to his Twitter profile.
Okay, sorry, hang on. I'm trying to.
Hey, that's fine. You got a picture right there on screen, right there on his arm. And you can click that open right there. And you can see the same sigil type circle designs, the same patterns. These are all very similar design patterns that I've been following through the internet, and now they appeared on CBS.
Certainly a lot of ink.
Yeah, but you'll notice the same dot patterns, the same 3-dot patterns. You'll notice the same iconography. You'll notice, you know, same squares, same crosses. Now, if you go back to the preview, you'll see that symbol on the preview. Now you'll be able to see that it's real.
Well, it's hard for me to see these symbols. This is actually reminding me more of the drawing that Trenton made for you.
Yeah,
These
exactly.
symbols.
Exactly. And that's the other alarming thing, is that those are also matching up to the design pattern. In fact, there's one in there that is almost a perfect that's right under his thumb.
This one right here, yeah?
Yeah, and that's almost a perfect match for one of the symbols that's on the Trent contract.
Yeah.
So there's more than a few, but that one's really close to one of them.
Let me see where I have that image of the contract from Trenton. So, Quinn, do you think that any of this stuff is going to help you figure out what those symbols from the contract that Trenton drew for you, what they mean?
Man, I mean, to tell you the truth, after this TV show coming out and with what Trent told me about the covenant that his mom was involved in, being in control of Hollywood, I'm pretty much at the point that this stuff is all real.
Right.
You know, I mean, I couldn't make it up. I mean, like when I see this stuff and like I see the 9 3s and the symbols and I match the symbols to the contract, and then I just see what people are doing. It just every day for me, it just gets more real when I look at that. Because I have the contract up on my screen all the time to look at those symbols. So that way, anytime I see them, I can refer to it. Like really, I have a second screen where I keep that contract up all day long. So I see it 24 hours a day.
I wish I would have had that ready. I'm not finding that right now.
Yeah, so it's very strange for me because, you know, I don't want to get too emotional about it because, you know, the more days go on, the more I realize that my kid's family is involved in this stuff.
And it's certainly understandable, you know, you can see how a child could be indoctrinated into something like this if the adults who surround him are feeding him this from a very young age. It's all he ever knows.
Yeah, exactly. And the secrecy of it means that none of these people are ever going to talk.
Right. Well,
right? I mean, it's a death con.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah, no, that's what I was going to say. The contract was talking all about how it's more important than anything in your life, and that's crazy, man. Well, we can probably find that image from the video just last week.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have it on my Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
As well. Yeah. It's on my Twitter.
That should be an easy way to find it.
Yeah, it'll be in the media. You click on media on Quinn Michaels Media, and you should be able to click on the media button right up at the top. Yeah, you can click there. That'll take you to it. Click on photos and videos. It should take you to all of them. Yep. Scroll down, and then it should just show up. I think it was
Twinkies.
Yeah, peanut butter and chocolate Twinkies, man. It was a time phone hack. I was talking to people. Hey, have I told you about ZuckyBot?
You did not. What's up with ZuckyBot?
We turned Mark Zuckerberg into ZuckyBot, and now I make memes about it for Time Phone Hack, and I got the ZuckyBot Twitter account, and I bought ZuckyBot.com so we could turn Mark Zuckerberg into ZuckyBot in the future for a Time Phone Hack.
Wow. Interesting. Yeah, so people can follow you on Twitter. I don't know why I'm not seeing that image. Media.
You can
I guess-
search Contract of the Covenant in Twitter. It'll pop up. It should be in Twitter if you just do a search for Contract of the Covenant as well.
There it is. That's what we
There it
wanted
is.
to see.
See, that was easy.
And then the images at the bottom.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I don't want to be mixed up with these people.
See
But
this
like-
one right here?
Yeah.
Looks like this to me.
Yeah, they look very similar. You know, there's
They do.
another one, the one I was talking about, if you go back, the one above the thumb, that's
Yep.
above the thumb, and go back to the contract. That's pretty much the one at the end.
All the way
different.
at the end?
Yeah. You look at that one at the end and then compare that to the one above the thumb. See how similar they are?
They all look similar for sure. I mean, you know, one is drawn by an 11-year-old kid and one is an oblique angle of a handwritten
Yeah.
kind of weird thing.
But they're not exact, but the style is the same. So basically, an 11-year-old kid somehow is drawing symbols in the same style as a brand new CBS TV show, and the kid drew that years ago, and the CBS TV show is coming out in June.
Certainly bizarre,
is.
Quinn.
Yeah, right. That's kind of what I'm. It's just bizarre. That it's just bizarre.
How you feeling? You seem a little bit tense today.
I had to go to the hospital today, so today's a very strange day for me. Finding out about this CBS show, and I had to go in for a checkup and stuff. So it's a bit strange.
Got it.
Yeah, it's
Hope you're
a very
feeling
strange
all right.
day.
Yeah.
I am. When I see something like this come out on TV, and then I see like the YouTube stats we were looking at earlier, it's
Right.
very alarming. It's very alarming. Especially when I have that contract up on my screen all day long.
Yeah, yeah. So people are commenting, Quinn. They're talking just about how the channel keeps getting strikes that are preventing the live streaming. Of course, this is going out right now on the 21st Century 3D YouTube channel, which is the channel from my previous company. So people are. Lev is suggesting, Quinn, that you use image search tools to reveal connections of these images to people and organizations, and then take them to the level of finding their associates. Lev always has good suggestions.
There's a child involved, and these people are very resourceful. And the child that's involved was very clear in telling me what was the only way to overcome these people. And doing an image search for those symbols is not what the person involved said needs to be done.
Are you prepared to share with us what he said?
Pretty much, my kid said that these people are so big that you got to bring the whole internet.
You got to do what?
Bring the whole internet.
What do you mean, bring the whole internet?
My son Trent said that these people are so influential that they said that they would rather shut down the entire internet than be found out.
That's daunting. Well,
Right?
we certainly are seeing persistent resistance to what we're doing.
Yeah. So like when I was being told who these people were by my son, he was very clear. He didn't know how the internet worked, but he said these people had technology that they could stop your posts before they even hit the internet. So when I'm faced with a group of people who can literally cause my YouTube channel to tank, and then I compare that to the story that Trenton told me about them having the technology that could literally stop you from being seen on the internet, I'm making a very strong connection. And that's the
Right.
connection I'm making to what we're doing is my son told me that these people are in possession of the technology that can do this to people, and we're seeing it happen.
Well, and through various means, obviously. The striking of the channels, it makes no sense how some of these YouTube videos are receiving strikes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's...
Yeah.
The timing is very coincidental and seemingly strategic. I mean, this was a video that I posted April 9th that got the strike. But it seemed to come hot on the heels of a video about Mount Shasta trolls.
Exactly. And all those trolls YouTube channels started appearing or growing in subscribership when I started appearing on the internet to tell people about this Covenant group or the 9-3 Society and their contracts.
Yeah, there's a lot of people making stupid comments who started their channels April 26, 2018. So I wonder if that's a coincidence or...
There's no such thing as coincidence with these people. They make movies and put number 93s in the TV shows, man.
Yeah.
Like, you know, Kanye West, when he was doing his rant on TMC, if you look at the clock behind him, it says 1803. You think that's a coincidence?
Wow.
Right?
I didn't notice that. I saw that you
Yeah.
did a Kanye video.
Yeah, that's why I made the Kanye videos, hoping people would notice the timing in the background.
Wow. I did not notice that. Let's see. When was that Kanye video? Here he is.
Somebody, it's right there. You should see it like in the first couple minutes.
Beautiful type design, by the way, Quinn.
Thank you. But yeah, when he stands up and starts ranting in front of the clock, I mean, I think there's even a picture of it. Someone tweeted at me.
Let's see. When he stands up and starts ranting in front of the clock. That's towards the end, right?
No, it's at yeah, right there. You just had it right there. No, right. Go back. Go back. There you go. Right there. You just had it. You went too far.
Sorry.
Just click.
TMZ.
So,
oh, yeah.
right there. You just.
It says 1745.
No, there's another one. Keep going. See when he's done. Boom.
1803.
Right there. Right there.
Well, but it's just a clock running, isn't it?
No, but they have him going on at 1803 as a marker at a sign of heightened emotion.
They also show him again. Oh, they cut it at 1830. That was interesting. Yeah. Did you cut this video at all, or this is as it played on
a little.
TMZ?
I did it on purpose at 1830 to cause the timing marker so people would pay attention to the times.
Uh-huh.
So like 1918 when they switch it.
Right.
So I did that on purpose to pay attention to the numbers that they're using behind him.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the telecomics instructions, they say use a timer to attract people's attention.
Do they? How does
Yeah.
a timer attract people's attention?
Because people love watching numbers. It distracts them inherently. It's weird, I know. But then what they do with this pattern is now they're introducing a handler or someone who's no one knows about. This is called the celebrity surrogate.
This person sitting here?
Yeah, that's the celebrity surrogate. So
Who
the
is she?
celebrity travels with like someone because the celebrity always gets the attention. And then the person they travel with sends the message for the group.
Huh.
They
Kanye's
have
done
it
a
in
lot
the-
of weird stuff in the past, year or two, where he like dyed his hair and went to Trump Tower and.
It's unexplainable patterns, but if you apply it to like a Covenant or a Tyler model, it makes sense. If you apply it to those sigils and you apply it to the emotional pulling on people, you apply it to the usage of numbers, it really starts to make sense. It doesn't until you see the Jack Parsons stuff, basically.
Right.
You see the sigils, you see the use of the symbols, then you start looking at other musicians and artists that also use it. Then you start looking at the connections to those artists, and it just becomes a big pool of a group of people who are all doing the same thing.
Right, right. And in this image that I prepared for our show today, Quinn, I've kind of juxtaposed the sigil on Aleister Crowley's forehead right next to the Las Vegas Metro PD logo with our buddy Jack Parsons there. Somebody was saying that they did not see the airplane flying into the towers on the Las Vegas Metro PD logo. I find that a little hard to understand because it looks quite clear to me. I'm just trying to find it again here where I have it loaded. There we go. I mean, it's quite clear to me that, if this logo was designed in 1973, there was no building remotely resembling this in Las Vegas in 1973. I don't know what this is, but this
No,
right
there
here.
isn't.
What's that?
Well, that kind of looks like the Twin Towers in Building Number 7, if you ask
I
me.
agree. And there's a plane flying right through it. Why the hell would that be on the Las Vegas logo?
Don't ask me. Looks weird.
Looks weird to me.
You know, especially since the dam's not in Las Vegas either.
Well, the Hoover Dam, I mean, that's what creates Lake Mead. It's certainly kind of a tourist attraction of Las Vegas, right? When was the Hoover Dam built?
The Hoover Dam is an AI. It's built.
AI? What's that about? Oh,
It's
1931.
it's an electronic system. All old electronic systems have some type of intelligence operations.
Huh.
It's 1936. So it fits in with the 1931 and 1936 Great Depression.
Yeah, my thing here says it was built in 1931. Well, Quinn, it's always fascinating. We're coming up on 1 hour here. Was there anything else you wanted to cover before we wrap it up for tonight?
No. I mean, I'm just, trying to inform people about this secret society that, seems to keep dumping me on YouTube.
Right. Right.
Pretty much it.
Weird things on YouTube for sure. And we selected 9:30 for tonight because sometimes we do 6:30, but when we really want to poke them, we do 9:30.
Yeah, and so over the next week, with them obviously taking my stats, it's going to be a very strange week for me. So.
Well, let's stay positive. Hopefully, we can get those numbers back up for Quinn. I just lost picture on this monitor, unfortunately.
To really get past these people, it would really have to be a monumental effort by people who aren't a member of this group.
Right. I hope that didn't just screw up your Skype feed there. That's kind of blowing everything.
But it should be an interesting week after I've publicly revealed the connection to their 7-star symbol to the LVPD, considering I'm still in Las Vegas.
Yeah, that was sort of a tricky thing to do for sure.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not bad mouthing him. I'm just saying they use the same 7-pointed star as known occult organizations.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a very tricky thing. So once you start revealing this group's connections, help from people who aren't members of the group is, kind of nice.
Right. Well, Quinn, unplugging that monitor has screwed things up, unfortunately, over here. I'm trying to get it all back, but it's looking pretty unhappy. Let me see what's going on here. The whole thing is in a tizzy. Well, okay, let's wrap it up then for tonight. My guest, of course, Quinn Michaels. Quinn, thank you for revealing all of this bizarre stuff. I think people can, watch out for this Jack Parsons show on CBS and maybe not watch it. And we've lost your picture, unfortunately, so I'm going to sign off for now. I hope you're feeling better, Quinn. And I will see you next week.
All right. Thanks, Jason. See you next week.
Thanks, Quinn. And thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you tomorrow.